Hey folks, Jonathan Hayes with Do All Outdoors, and today we're going to go over the assembly and operation of our foul play auto trap. Now before we get started, a couple things we need regarding tools. You're going to need a 14mm wrench, 13mm wrench, 17mm wrench, and a 4mm Allen wrench. And that's pretty much all you need to get started. The first step we're going to take is we're going to attach the 4 legs to the trap base. Pretty simple process. Each leg has 2 screws, 2 nylock nuts, and that's going to be your 14 and 13mm wrenches. You're going to take a bolt and a washer, and put the leg underneath the base. Just hand tighten these real quick. Then a washer on the bottom, nylock nut. All right. 14mm wrench is going to be the bolt. The 13mm is going to be the nut. You want to tighten these up pretty good. Then we're just going to repeat that step 3 more times. Okay, so now that we've got the legs onto the base, we just need to install the top unit. How we do that, we just pick it up, and this can be a 1 or 2 man operation, doesn't matter. All right, these are your 17mm head bolts, and before we install it, it's important that we keep this crescent to the back. That's your angle of adjustment, so make sure that's in the back. You hold it up, and you can just hand tighten these, and that's fine. We'll get all 4 in and hand tighten them, and then we'll crank them down. All right, so we hand tighten the bolts. Now we're just finishing them off with the wrench. This is also a good time to set your launch angle. It's got a 5 to 35 degree launch angle, so if you want them straight out, more of a flushing quail, you want to go really high springing teal, or you just want your standard trap angle, go ahead and preset that. You can also make that adjustment in the field if you need to. All right, so the upper unit is on the base, the legs are on the base. Just a couple more steps and we'll be ready to go. Okay, so now we want to install our stacker poles. Pretty simple process. Just going to slide these on pole brackets like so. Going to take our horseshoe with the opening facing the rear of the trap. Just hand tighten our bolts here. Okay, now that we've got our stacker poles on and our horseshoe installed, the unit's about 90% assembled. It's probably the easiest unit on the market to assemble. It takes about 5 minutes to completely assemble the whole unit. So a couple things we need to do now. is install the safety ring arm holders. And how you do this is you grab one of the arm holders. This is going to be your 4mm Allen wrench. Real simple, again, hand tighten. And then finish it off with the Allen screw. And same thing for the other side. Take your safety ring holder and just attach it to the side of the trap with 2 Allen screws. And I'm just going to finish it off here. All right. Next step is we want to take the safety bracket holders that go into the rear and just simply screw them into the back. Real simple process. Now it's time to install our safety ring. So we've got our 4 safety ring holders installed. Get the safety ring on and we'll be done with that portion of the assembly. And how we want to do this is you just want to take the end of the safety ring, slide it through one of the arms, real easy. Give it enough slack to where it'll go into the back, to the back holder. Go ahead and slide it into the other arm, like so. And then attach the other side into the holder in the back. One other safety feature that we need to install is the safety pin. This is a very important step in that this is going to keep your arm from accidentally firing. And what you want to do here is just take this bolt out of the back of the top plate, put the safety pin in just like so, put everything back together. So now that we've got the safety pin installed, I'm going to go ahead and insert it in the hole. And it's always just a good habit to get the safety pin in the hole when it's not in use, when it's in storage. That way that you know there's no way that that arm can fire. And basically what it does is that safety pin keeps this arm from firing inadvertently. So always keep the safety pin in when you're not using it. Also, keep in mind that the orange safety ring is a visual barrier of the arm's path. So never penetrate this barrier with any part of your body or any tool or anything while the machine is live, hooked up to a battery while you're in the field or at home. So the next step we want to do, and the final step, is install the mainspring. Pretty simple process. What we want to do here is move the arm into the 12 o'clock position. Take our spring and we're going to hook it into the eyelet. You're going to move the eyelet around, hook the spring on, like so. There you go. So now we have to put the spring bolt onto the mainspring. This is a preset nylock nut to the desired tension that we like. You can always back it off or move it up a little bit if you prefer. So we're going to hook that on to the back of the spring, and then we're going to run it out to the back of the trap. We slipped off here to make sure that everything's connected right properly. Then we're going to take nylock nut and put the safety pin back in, and we're going to tighten it up. It's always a good idea to hold the mainspring, make it a little bit easier. So back that nut down on the mainspring bolt to where there's 5 or 6 threads showing, and it should bottom out where that preset nylock nut is. So at this point, the foul play is 100% assembled. A couple other things we need to go over, and we'll cover that in our operating portion of the video. All right, now that the foul play is together, it's time to start having some fun. But before we do that, we need to go over a couple of things. I'm going to recap the safety features again. Anytime the unit's not in use, you need to make sure that the safety pin is in. This also is equally important that right before we go to the on position that we take the safety pin out. But for now, we're going to keep the safety pin in. Keep in mind the safety ring is a visual barrier of the arm's path. Never penetrate this with any part of your body or any object while we are live. Okay, so first thing you want to do is put your clays in the stack. Foul plays holds 25 clays. I'm not going to load those now just for instructional purposes. We'll get to that later. So the first thing you want to do is load your clays. Second thing you want to do is install your foot pedal. Now before I hook it up to the battery, I want to make sure that I'm in the off position. So the toggle has it's a three-way toggle, so there's a on, off, and disarmed feature. So off is in the middle. We want to hook our battery up. Black to negative, red to positive, pretty standard. So now we're ready to go live. But before we do anything, before we cut the machine on, we've got to pull the safety pin. And now we're ready to launch. You launch with the foot pedal. You can hold it in your hand, you can step on it with your foot. If you're a single shooter who is shooting and operating the foul play, you can put a 10-foot, a 25-foot, a 50-foot, or even a 100-foot extension cord to get you pretty far away from the machine so you can offer a variety of shot angles. So if you want to install your extension cord, you can do that now and get away from the trap. If you want, the foul play is compatible with our remote. So again, if you're a single shooter and you want to do that, or multiple shooters, a remote's a really good accessory to have. So now we're live and we're ready to fire. What we want to do is cut the machine into the on position with the safety pin out. What's going to happen is the arm's going to swing around and it's going to pick up a bird and it's going to stop. Okay, so now we're stopped. It's dropped a bird. To release the bird, throw the clay, all you have to do is depress the foot pedal. It's going to cycle around in about 2 seconds, so it's pretty fast. When you're ready to throw another bird, simply push the foot pedal and then let off of it. You never want to keep constant pressure on the foot pedal. Okay. And you can keep doing that until your stack is empty. I would recommend that you don't let the stack get down to 1 or 2 birds. Always try to keep at least a half a stack. You know, if you can keep a full stack on it, great. So now that we're firing, there's a couple things to consider. Our launch angle, which we covered earlier. We can go straight out, flushing quail. We can go straight up like a springing teal or your standard clay shot, however you want to do that. It's got a 5 to 35 degree angle of adjustment. So if we do want to adjust the angle of adjustment or make any other adjustments, a couple of things we have to do first. One, on the foul play, it has a disarm feature, which is a little different from our Raven. And how we disarm the machine, before we do any adjustment to it, we want to flick the toggle to the middle position to off. We want to take the toggle and then click it to the disarm position and depress the foot pedal. This is a two-way motor, so the arm's going to swing around the opposite direction and it's going to relieve the tension from the spring. Once the arm is in the 12 o'clock position, cut the toggle switch to off, safety pin back in, disconnect the battery. So now we're free to move to work on the machine. So at this point, if you want to change the launch angle, all you have to do is loosen these bolts. You can go straight out, like I said, or you can go your full 35 degrees or somewhere in the middle. And what really makes it fun is if you want to, again, add the remote, or if you want to put the foul play on our wobbler. So if you're having timing issues in the field, there's a couple of things that we can do to make those adjustments in the field. If your arm is stopping too soon, what you do is you take a 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench and you loosen these screws right here. If it's stopping too soon, you move the limit switch towards the front of the trap. If the arm is stopping too late, then you move the limit switch towards the back of the trap. Now you might have to do this a couple of times until you get the timing just perfect. So you might have to fire a few birds, you might have to go back and forth a couple of times in case the timing gets out just from general wear and tear or gets bumped during shipping, but the timing does come preset. However, if it does get off, you can usually make these adjustments in the field, and usually any errors that do happen with the foul play are going to be related to the limit switch. So this is where you're going to start and make these adjustments, and it should take care of it. If it doesn't, call our 800 number. Customer service team will be glad to take care of you. All right, so that pretty much concludes our assembly and operation portion of our video. I do want to reiterate some safety issues. Again, anytime you're not using the machine, make sure that the safety pin is in. Anytime you're working on the machine, make sure the safety pin is in, disconnected from the battery, the foot pedal is disconnected, and the arm is in the disarm position. And it's just as important that you remember to put the safety pin, pull the safety pin out after you've made those adjustments or taken it out from storage before you click the machine to on or before you fire it. If you don't, the arm's going to come around, it's going to hit the safety pin pretty hard, and we're going to have to replace your arm for you. So equally as important as you pull it out, that you keep it in. So always keep the safety pin in when you're storing it or working on it. Disconnect from the battery, all your power supplies are off. I do also want to point out that the foul play is compatible with our remote and our wobbler. So the wobbler is going to give you a left to right and up and down oscillation. It's got 2 plates with it. You can just do a left to right oscillation, or you can do a left to right and up and down combo oscillation along with the remote. So check out those 2 accessories, enhance your shooting experience even further. If you want to learn more about the foul play or any of our products or auto traps, check us out online at dualoutdoors.com. And again, we have a wealth of information for troubleshooting on our traps, on our YouTube channel, and our troubleshooting portion of our website at dualoutdoors.com. Have fun shooting, and thank you for your business.